Temeke DC implements inspection operation on wholesale and retail shops selling sugar. And in sports, Singida United confident of avoiding relegation from the mainland Premier League next season. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. More than 100 vehicles were stranded for more than 12 hours in Kilindi district, Tanga region, after the road was destroyed by rains which caused them to get stuck in mud. However, Tanzania Roads Agency has started to take measures to address the situation by making the road impassable.
Kwa kweli tunateseka sana kwa sababu si tupo tangia jana usiku na kuna wenzetu pia
This is extremely difficult. We've been here since yesterday evening, and when we arrived, we found that fellow drivers had also been stuck. There were about 100 vehicles, although some have now been able to pass. There are all sorts of travelers. Some are transporting goods, and there are those who are sick. We're asking the government to help us. This is a big road, earning the government a lot in revenue. This area has received a lot of rain, which has caused a lot of damage to the road.
The District Commissioner of Temeke in Dar es Salaam has implemented an inspection operation on wholesale and retail shops selling sugar at prices not set by the government. In the operation at Tandika area, 2 people were arrested by police for violating price regulations, where consumers said the sugar price issue was getting out of hand.
Mfungo wa Ramadhani wanataka kufanya kama kufa kufana.
The price is hiked during the holy month of Ramadan. What has been paid for this sugar and the amount on the receipt are 2 different amounts. The person who received the receipt and the one who collected the sugar are 2 different people. A lot of sellers stock sugar and hike the price at the beginning of the Ramadan month. This is affecting us so much. The last time I purchased a bag of sugar, I paid 3,800 shillings.
The Industry, Trade and Environment Parliamentary Committee has expressed disappointment on reduction of the budget of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, which has decreased for the second consecutive year, despite the ministry having big responsibilities. The committee expressed their concern when giving their views in Parliament on the Ministry of Industry and Trade budget estimates for the 2020-2021 financial year.
Miaka mfululizo fedha za bajeti zinazotengwa kwenye wizara hii zimeendelea kupungua.
Money allocated for this ministry has continually been decreased. For budget for the year 2019-20, it was reduced by 29.9%, and for 2020-21 budget by 18.9%. This reduction on the budget for the Ministry of Trade and Industries has made it impossible to fulfill some of the ministerial duties. The committee would like to advise the government to increase the budget for the year 2020-2021.
Serikali imefanikiwa kutenga maeneo maalum kwa ajili ya wajasiriamali kufanya shughuli mbalimbali za kiuchumi.
The government has decided to set aside areas for various traders to carry out economic activities. This has led to the construction of 12 industrial sheds in Sido Industrial Area in Dodoma, Manyara, Kagera, Mtwara and Geita. A total of 29 industries have been set up in specified buildings, creating a total of 648 jobs. In addition, the ministry is constructing more industrial buildings in other regions, beginning with Kigoma, Mtwara, and Ruvuma.
Na ujenzi umeanza.
Members of the Council of Representatives from the CCM party in Zanzibar have decided to use funds on their last term as representatives to manufacture face masks, which will be issued free to residents. They say the 33 million shillings remaining in the fund will be used to manufacture face masks, which will be issued in all constituencies, being measures to support efforts against the coronavirus pandemic.
The CCM committee has the responsibility to support our party and the government. In addition to contributing financially, some of the money will be used to make personal protective equipment. We've donated food items such as flour, cooking oil, and other items. This has cost 21 million shillings.
Now, residents of Bulela Ward in Geita region have asked the government to speed up construction of Kamashi Bridge that joins Nyangwale district to Geita district that was swept away by floods, causing no communication for many months, causing transport woes.
We are not able to transport farm produce. I'm asking if an alternative side road can be constructed so we can transport produce. As you can see, it is very expensive to do so now. There is a contractor assigned to do this project, but because of the ongoing rains, work had to stop. However, work has resumed.
Now, the government has resolved a long-running conflict between the Wildlife Division and residents of Toloha village in Mwanga district, who complained of not being compensated for their crops, which were eaten by elephants alleged to be from Komazi National Park as well as Tsavo in Kenya.
Sasa wanalipa laki. Nikawauliza.
I asked them why they were paying 100,000 for 2 hectares. It was announced that 1 hectare was to sell for 100,000. I'm asking you, the people in charge of reserves, to look into these issues. I had 4 hectares and I received 150,000. I told them that it was announced that 1 hectare was to sell for 100,000. But I was told to take the money and ask questions later. If you feel that justice has not been served, then write to us through the municipal management and we will look into that. The government is here for the people. Preserving natural resources is for the people, but you come first.
Lakini na sisi kwa sababu hizi ni fedha za umma lazima utaratibu ufuatwe.
Members of Parliament of the East Africa Legislative Assembly have continued with meetings of different committees of the Assembly through the internet, a move made to avoid congestion due to the coronavirus. They also emphasized on the importance of the public following the directions by their leaders and health experts in fighting COVID-19.
Inabidi tujifunze kwanza kuweka usalama wetu wa kiafya, lakini
we must learn to protect our health and others, which includes changing the way we work so we can work in a safer environment as we look for the cure.
Magonjwa kama cholera,
diseases such as cholera, TB and malaria, mortality rate is twice as high as that from coronavirus. So we must carry on like this until things improve.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, residents of Kampala, Uganda have started to go back to their business activities despite the government extending the lockdown to 14 more days, being measures taken against the coronavirus pandemic. The residents were seen in the city selling various items such as face masks and fruits.
Leo tulikuwa tumekuja kwa town kusema tukifikiri kazi imeanza, lakini tena tumekuta kazi ilikuwa haianza. Unajua watu walikuwa wamemaliza siku mingi nyumbani bila kufanya kazi, na iliwabidi wao kuja kuona kazi zao watazifungua namna gani.
Nigeria has recorded its highest single-day infection rate of COVID-19 the day after the country began a 6-week phase-out period of the emergency lockdown measures. A total of 245 new cases were confirmed on Monday by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, 73 of them in the country's commercial capital, Lagos. The total number of infections in the country stood at 2,802 on Tuesday, including 93 deaths and 417 recoveries. The update came just hours after the government relaxed restrictions in Abuja, Ogun and Lagos states after more than 4 weeks of lockdown imposed to contain the new coronavirus. Now, moving on, Health Cabinet Secretary in Kenya, Mutahi Kagwe, on Tuesday announced 45 new positive cases of the coronavirus, 29 people, which are all from Nairobi's Eastleigh area. Now, the 45, which becomes the highest number of infections announced by the ministry so far, were confirmed from 1,077 samples tested within the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of 535.
Today, our cumulative figure of those who have tested positive to the COVID-19 stands at 535 people. This is because out of the 1,077 samples tested, some 45 people have turned positive. This, of course, is the highest number recorded in 24 hours ever since the first case on the 12th of March. The 29 cases that you have heard which are from Nairobi are all from Eastleigh. That means that as we speak, there are 63 cases within the Eastleigh area alone. That tells you then that there is community spread happening within Nairobi, specifically in the area of Eastleigh. This comes out of the result of mass testing in that area within the last 24 hours.
More people have died in the United Kingdom from coronavirus than any other European country, according to the latest figures from the Office for National Statistics, which on Tuesday on its weekly figures added more than 7,000 deaths in England and Wales, raising the total for the UK to 32,313. The figure is the result of one of the several methods for calculating deaths and difficult to compare with other countries, but it offers the clearest sign yet that the UK could emerge as the worst hit country in Europe, despite being struck later than other countries. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production. Infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Investors in tree plantations, beekeeping and avocado farming at Nundu village in Jombe district have urged the government to distribute electricity in their areas so as to be able to establish processing industries as well as conduct irrigation farming.
Anapozungumzia viwanda vidogo ni kama hivi asali na vitu kadha namna ya kulima maparachichi na tuweze kuyapeleka kwenye processing.
When he speaks of small-scale factories, this is what he means: those for honey production, learning avocado farming and being able to take them to be processed. There are foreigners who want to turn the avocados into powder form, but you cannot do that without electricity.
Nyuki hawatui kiurahisi, maana hili eneo ni jangwa.
Bees do not land easily because of the area, so we're forced to find alternative methods to find bees, such as on people's buildings and forests. Until now, we have 45 beehives, but we expect to have 200 to 700 beehives.
Kutafuta mbinu mbadala, tumefanikiwa kufikisha nyuki walau 45, ila tunategemea hapo baadaye tuwe tuna kuanzia mizinga 200.
Kishnut farmers in Mtwara region have expressed uncertainty in preparing their crops due to the global coronavirus pandemic, with many saying the pandemic will have negative impact on the Kishnut market.
Kwa kweli kulingana na hali ya ugonjwa wetu wa corona.
Because of the nature and trend of the coronavirus, we have lost hope in farming. Up to now, we have not checked on our farms, and we have received no word from the government on markets. Based on the word on the street, the cashew buyers are locked in their homes. So who will sell them to?
Kwa sasa hivi kulingana taarifa za mitaani wanasema wanunuzi wa korosho bado wamefungiwa majumbani. Hata mkilimia hizo korosho mtaenda kuuzia wapi?
Geita Region Commissioner Engineer Robert Gabriel has advised agriculture experts to look into ways of adding value to cotton, which will encourage farmers to grow the crop instead of forcing them, as is currently being done.
Bado nina imani kwamba watafiti wetu, wataalamu wetu wakitupatia teknolojia nzuri ya
I still have faith that if our researchers provide us with good technology to set up a clothing factory in Geita that produces good quality clothes, school children, our defense and safety officers, in the health sector, many shades are needed, many public servant outfits and uniforms. So if we get the best product, everyone will take up cotton farming.
Na malengo yetu ya uzalishaji wa pamba nchini yalikuwa ni tani 400,000.
Our cotton production goals were 470,000 tons, and statistics show that production in the 2019-2020 period, we have produced not more than 350,000 tons. It is our plan to ensure the 470,000 tons goal is
uzalishaji uweze kuongezeka ili tuweze kuvuka ile lengo tulilojiwekea.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time. Good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 metres. Away first time. Good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 metres. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back, and in sports news, Singida United have exuded confidence that they will not be relegated from the mainland Premier League in the next season.
The Singida-based side has had a bumpy ride in the league this season. No wonder they're sitting at the bottom of the 20-team league table. However, the club's director Festo Sanga has revealed there is no way his side will fare well the league next term, saying when the action gets back, they can get 40-plus points to stay put next season. Sanga insisted looking at the teams they will face when the league resumes, he believes they can win all the matches and reach 42 points, which are enough to keep them in the contest next season.
The national cricket team has made a video which aims to motivate Tanzanians, as well as calling on them to be patient when sports activities have been stopped due to the coronavirus pandemic.
As we fight an invisible enemy, we miss the things that we can't do anymore.
I miss hitting those sixes out of the park.
I miss playing another game to leave my mark.
I miss the next session, which was so much fun.
I miss the feeling really in the hot zone.
I miss taking my kidnap before an important game. I miss taking the boundary catch.
I miss the ice bath after session.
I miss mixing my deliveries to give batsmen some tension.
I miss talking from behind the stumps.
I miss diving with the ball behind the wickets.
I miss the early morning tea at the ground.
I miss hitting the ball straight.
I miss destroying the stump with my pets, and I miss to hit some sixes as well.
I miss swinging the ball to warrant the batsman down the wicket.
I do really miss those actions indeed. Now, moving on, shorter matches are being considered as part of plans to restart the football season, according to the Chief Executive of the Professional Footballers Association, Gordon Taylor. Here's more on the story.
Games have been suspended since March, and safety permitting, the aim is resume the English season in June. FIFA has proposed allowing extra substitutions to help players cope with greater fixture congestion after a break that involved curtailed training and no competition, and Taylor said games of less than 45 minutes each way are also under consideration. Taylor said a protocol for football's return drawn up in conjunction with medical experts and the government was due to be put to players and coaches as early as possible next week and will be looked at club by club.
Liverpool have told Timo Werner's representatives they need more time to decide on whether to make a formal offer for the Germany international as they wait to see what impact coronavirus will have on the next transfer window. Here are more details.
Werner is as keen to leave this summer after 4 years at RB Leipzig, and Liverpool are in pole position to sign the 24-year-old, having made clear their interest in him several months ago. Werner is keen for a new challenge abroad and has told Bayern Munich that a move to another Bundesliga club is not an option at the moment. Contrary to reports, the release clause in the striker's contract, which stands at £52.7 million, is still valid.
And La Liga has confirmed that Spain's footballers will go back to training this week, the first step in a month-long process towards a return to competition. Here's the story.
The hope is that first and second division games can begin in mid-June. It is not yet clear how competition in the third tie down will be resolved, with the proposal currently in place to play only a set of accelerated playoffs involving the top four rather than any regular season games. Training grounds will be prepared, disinfected and inspected over the next 2 days, a process which is already underway. And players will undergo COVID-19 antibody tests before returning. In the first phase, players will work alone, arriving at the facilities already in their kit.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Kilindi. Thank you for watching and good night.